Let's start our class with a quiet time. Let's close our eyes and relax our body. Bring our full attention to this room, to this moment. Let us lift our thoughts to a very high realm of divine love and light. And remember that each one here is a part of the channel, not just the one who speaks, but each one of you are lending your life force to this circle of light. And as we open ourselves to the channel, we feel ourselves lifting up our thoughts as those on the higher realms reach down to meet us. Thank you, Father. Good evening, my dear ones. This is Don, coming to you from these realms of love and light. I welcome the new one here tonight, and we all welcome all of you in this circle of light. And we would have you to remember that there are many, many more here than appear in the physical. There are many in the spirit realms from many dimensions, and they come to be with you, your teachers and your guides, and those who have come to learn, just as you have come to learn. I would ask you to send love to them and to welcome them, and remember that they are your brothers and sisters. They are one with you, just as all are one with each. All life is one, and it is good to remember this. Remember that there is no division in life. There is only one life in the whole of creation, and that life has named itself God, and you and I are different expressions of this one life. And so, no matter who or what expression, we are one with all creation of any and every kind. Our class tonight, I would like to entitle it The Mask. We wear many masks as we go through this experience on these lower dimensions. These masks we hide behind, and we do not allow ourselves always to come forth and show the real self. And when we have worn these masks for so long, we forget who we are. We forget our true identity. I would have you to remember this and to realize that as you wear these many masks, as you get used to them, you sometimes forget who you truly are. You sometimes identify with the mask instead of your real self. As you move through your experiences on these lower dimensions, and you realize that you are identifying with the personality, with the mask, and losing yourself sometimes in the drama that you are playing, awaken to the true reality of your being, and remember that you are divine. No matter what role that you are playing, no matter what you have done in the past, or what you're doing now, you are divine. And when you can remember this, then you have the ability to fulfill your divinity even while you're in the physical. As you learn to understand and to realize this, and let us say self-awareness is a part of this, aware of who you truly are. This is one of the first things that you need to remember and to learn when you start on the spiritual path. When you begin to awaken that you are not human beings, that you are not your body or your mind, that you're much, much more, then you are learning to be aware, and aware of the true identity of your being. We seem to have an echo in our... Is this correct?
Hear it, and then I think that they...
No, there's... would you undo, please, the earphones? I believe that's what it is. Donald was testing it before. Just unplug the earphones from the... Yes, that takes care of it. Thank you.
Would you like to unplug it?
Did you ask a question? Not right now, thank you. Now let us see where we were. We from these higher dimensions choose a subject that we think would help those who come to this circle of light. We do not always choose the one that will fit everyone, but we try to choose the subject that will help those who show up on this Wednesday night. As you learn to identify with your true reality, then you are learning to love, and you begin by loving yourself. You learn to be at peace within yourself, no matter what's happening around you. You learn to know the truth, with a capital T, as Donald says, the eternal truth. And you look through the illusions of the lower dimensions, and you see the real being that you are and that everyone else is. When you learn to judge not by outer appearances, then you are looking through the illusions, and you are seeing the God being within the other individuals. And there are times when it may seem difficult for you to judge not because of what they are saying or doing, or something that is happening around you. It seems difficult for you to look beyond the outer framework and see the divine being that dwells behind that mask that they are wearing. When you realize that you are wearing a mask, then you must realize that everyone else is wearing a mask. And there are different masks that we wear, or different roles that we play at different times. When you come to a class here on a Wednesday night, you put on your spiritual mask, do you not? And when you go to work, then you put on your work mask. And when you socialize, then you put on your social mask. And I point this out to help you to realize that you play many parts in this game of life on the lower dimensions. But behind all these masks, my dear ones, lies the God Self within you. And each day, when you can set aside some time to take off all your masks and go aside by yourself and have contact with this divine being that dwells within you and be your true self, then you can develop the ability to recognize your true self. Then when you go back into the world, it is easier for you to identify with your true identity. The many masks that people wear vary with the individual, and with you, you wear many masks. And I would have you to consider this and to think about it. Think about the feelings that you have when you come to the center, and also think about the feelings and the attitudes that you have when you go to your workplace or in your home, and the feelings and attitudes that you have in your social life. These, my dear ones, are different masks. And when we meet a friend for lunch, or we do something else, we sometimes wear a different mask. We play a different role. Now, this is what you have learned to do on these lower dimensions. You have learned to put on these masks and play a different role when you are in different situations and different places with different people. I would have you to realize this as you go through your day, as you go through your week, and to realize that when you can learn to take off your mask and just be your divine self, then you will be free to manifest the God within you. This will not come overnight, and it will come a little bit at a time. But if you will remember to realize that to let that divine being within you manifest in all areas of your life, then you will learn to eliminate the mask and let the love of God shine through. With the power of divine love, you can do this. And you, most of you, know how to send God's love. You know how to send God's love to others, but sometimes you do not use it on yourself enough. You do not ask that God's love come into your life, into your personality, and send love to yourself enough. And it would be wise to remember to send love to your teachers and your guides. Send love to them to help you to be your true self, to manifest the God being that you are. All through the day, remember to ask for help, because you have free will, and God cannot invade your free will, nor can we, nor can your teachers or guides invade your free will. They must wait until you ask. And when you slip back into your old ruts, you see, even if you have asked for help, then you have turned loose of that connection with them. So remember to often ask all through the day. Let's see if we can think of an example. let's say that you are at home and you have a quiet time and you send love to yourself and other places and to your guides and teachers, and you ask for their help and their guidance. And then you get in the car to go to the grocery store or to do something else, and the traffic is heavy and the heat is unbearable, and you have slipped back into your old ruts. Do you see? And it is easy to do this on these lower dimensions because of your habit patterns of thinking. It is not easy to identify with your true self at all times. We know this, my dear ones, because we have all gone through the experiences that you have gone through. And we wouldn't have you to realize this. We would have you to understand that we do not condemn you or judge you in any way. We are just here to help you when you ask. So remember to ask often, and remember to send love often, and often send love to yourself and to your teachers and guides, to all the invisibles around you, so that we can be of more help to you. Let us pause for a time and see if we have questions this evening that you might like to ask.
I've been thinking over things you said at a former meeting.
Yes, speak a little louder.
I've been thinking over what you said at a former meeting.
Yes.
Are we all going to be on the stars? Are there a lot of people living on the stars right now?
The galaxy and the universe is filled with entities just as you are. There are billions and billions and trillions of different expressions of the Father, and they are there. They have always been there. You have been on these other stars, as you call them, on these other planets, other places, other galaxies, because you came from eternity that had no beginning. So you have had many, many experiences. And you see, when you take a look at this dimension from the surface level, you think, oh, how terrible it is, and the wars and the crime and all the things that are happening. But my dear ones, if you would look at this from a higher point of view, you would see that all these things are just props. They are just props on this play, or this stage you call Earth. And when you understand, come to the realization that there is no death, that you are eternal, that you cannot be destroyed, then you can eliminate all the fear. Now, there are different expressions manifesting in different ways, but each expression of God that you call people, that you call entities, will awaken at some time in their soul's growth. And some of them have awakened before, but have dropped down again to the lower levels. But they are all children of God, and try not to judge them, no matter what they are doing. If you look at your news and you see that someone is incarcerated for drug addiction or dealing with drugs or murder or whatever, remember, these are children of God. They are just as precious to God as you are. Try not to judge them, but send them God's love and release them to God. Now, there are many stars or planets at different levels of growth. There are some that are lower in their stage of evolution than your planet, and there are many that are higher. And so when you send love to the whole universe, you're sending love to every planet, every star, every dimension in the whole of creation. And it is just as easy to send love to 1,000,000 people, 1,000,000 entities, as it is to send love to one. Do not limit yourself or feel lack, and know that God's love is all-powerful and all-wise, and it knows what to do. Did this help your understanding, my dear one? Yes. Are there other questions this evening?
I have a question.
Yes.
When I'm talking to a friend or the friend is a problem or I have a problem, like we realize that the situation that we are in is a situation that we've been in either once in the past or several times. So we recognize that it's something that we're trying to learn, but what would be the next step? How do we find out what is the lesson we need to learn so that we can move on from that point?
So you are speaking of a so-called problem or a deterrent in your growth. Is this true? Yeah. Yes. Then fear is the only problem, and divine love is the answer. When you take any situation, no matter how it appears to be, and add divine love, then it equals the solution to the problem, so-called problem. You see, these are opportunities, really, that you call problems, and they are opportunities for you to develop spiritual muscles. On the other dimensions that we come from, everything is too easy, and so many choose to incarnate on your physical plane to have more opportunity for soul's growth. In other words, to have more trouble and problems, as you would say. And through these opportunities, you learn and you grow. And you say, this particular problem, this particular thing that is deterring me from my growth, no matter what it is, my dear, God's love is the answer. When you add God's love, then this equals the answer. Now, is this clear to you, or would you like to add some more to your question?
I guess my next question would be then to talk about it and to get angry about it and to spout off about it or to rant and rave or to cry or whenever your release is, you should not do that and just send love immediately when you feel that there.
It depends on where you are in your growth. If you do not know anything else to do, then it is better to get it out of yourself, but not direct it at anyone else. But if you know the truth as you know it, then see the truth with divine light. God's love is the forerunner that brings divine light. Light is a symbol of understanding. And when you project divine love and light and healing power into any situation, and then open your mind and your heart and listen, you will receive the answer. But you do have to stop and listen. So many times you are concentrating so much on the problem that you do not hear the answer. But I tell you, you can simplify this by remembering that divine love is the answer. And when, no matter what situation it is, if you bring divine love into this situation, then it will solve anything, any problem, any solution that you want. Does this help your understanding?
Thank you.
Yes, when you talk to each other, so much of the world, when they speak to each other, they automatically talk in a negative way, and they talk about their problems. And when they do this, they put emotion behind it, and that increases the power of their problems. And so they do this not knowing what they are doing. But you who do know the truth, remember to not do this. And if you do start it, then catch yourself. And like your 7-day mental diet that Emmett Fox taught you, immediately change that negative thought into a positive thought and slam the door of your mind on the so-called fear and replace it with divine love. Many of you who have studied for years do not yet know enough about divine love. It is a subject that you will continue to learn more about, perhaps throughout eternity. And I would encourage you to learn more of what divine love is and know and understand it. There are a few attributes that you have been given, but there are many, many other attributes of divine love that can be brought into your life, into your consciousness, into your thinking. And I would have you to consider this in your quiet times and listen for the answers. Are there other questions this evening?
Yes, I would like very much if this master would help me experience my past lives.
This is a time when you will have this opportunity, my dear one. When you did go through the class, did you not?
Yes, I did.
And it did not work for you, except that as the timing was not right.
I know that I've lived past lives, but I haven't experienced it, but I sense that I have lived that life.
Yes. And as you have declared, it is not really that important to you at this time. You are growing, and you are growing rapidly, my dear one, and we are very pleased with your growth. Be not concerned about your past lives. Whatever karma, as you call it, or whatever has carried over from your other lives, you will be able to see it just by looking at yourself honestly and seeing what's in your life at this time and seeing what's right in front of you and what you need to overcome, what you need to replace with divine love. Be not concerned about this. It will come when the timing is right for you.
Thank you.
Be patient. God bless you.
For those of us who are new here and not as familiar as some of the other people are, can you explain a little bit to me about this divine love that you're speaking of and how to bring it into a situation?
Yes. There is a book that you, as you go through the classes, you will be referred to by Henry Drummond, and it is a treatise on divine love, and he brings in some of the attributes of divine love, like kindness, humility, generosity, and so forth. These are attributes of divine love, and as you take these attributes and practice them in your daily life, then you are bringing the power of divine love into your consciousness. And I tell you, there is no greater power on earth or in heaven than divine love. And if you wish to grow more rapidly, learn to love more, because love is the answer. And we are always speaking of divine love. Yes, it is a subject that is very important, and there are times that we do not give enough attention to it and do not express enough about it. You begin by learning to love yourself. Most on this planet have been programmed and conditioned in a negative way. And as you are conditioned, you take things personally. And very few on this planet truly love themselves. You see, when you love yourself, you are loving God. When you love yourself, you are loving life. When you love yourself, you're loving others. It's an automatic thing because there is only one life, as I have told you. And this one life is not separated or divided. There is no you or I. We are all one with this one life. And so when you degrade yourself, feel guilty, self-condemnation, or whatever, then you are doing this to life. And this should be eliminated from your thinking and your consciousness. God does not judge you. He does not condemn you for anything that you think might be a mistake. You are the only one, and if others condemn you or judge you, that is a mistake and their problem. So, you are the only one. And when you learn to love yourself and to realize your divinity, then it's much easier to love others, no matter what they are doing, no matter what the outer appearance is, but to love them as God. And remember what the Master said. He said, even as you have done it unto the least of these, you have done it unto me. And this is a good marker to mark your understanding about love. Does this help your understanding, my dear one? Yes. There's much, much more to be said about this subject. But we will take it slow, and we will move into it more and more as we go along. Are there other questions this evening?
Well, I have a question.
Yes.
Sometimes I'm a kind-hearted person by nature, but there's times I feel that people take advantage of me due to that fact. How can you, watch yourself so that people aren't taking advantage of you just because they know you will go out of your way to help them? I mean, is that wrong to think that way, or?
It depends on the situation, and it depends on your motive and the other individual's motive. Now, when you allow someone to take advantage of you, as you say, then you are incorrect, and this is something that you should eliminate. If someone is truly taking advantage of you, you have allowed them to do this, have you not? And so it is your doing, and it is to be corrected. Now, when you look at something closely, and maybe there are times when people are taking advantage of you, or maybe there are times when they need help, and you are giving them help. And you need to learn to separate these two and to discern the difference. When someone asks you for help, it is a cry for help, no matter if it appears that they are taking advantage of you. And if they ask you, for example, if they ask you for money, and you feel that if you give them money, that they are taking advantage of you, realize that they are asking for help. And so, as you learn to send God's love, immediately send love to them. And remember, my dear one, there's an article that you can obtain about sending God's love. But they are asking for help, even if they are trying to take advantage of you. Even if someone picks your pocket, you see, they are asking for help. They're reaching out for help. Now, you should not allow them to pick your pocket if you catch them, because you're contributing to their delinquency if you allow this. But they are still asking for help. They're reaching out in the only way that they know at that moment. Everyone is doing the best they can with their past conditioning at the moment. And when you understand this, then you can handle it in a wise way by either giving them money, or if they ask for money for food and you think they might spend it on alcohol or something else, then it would be wise to take them to a restaurant and feed them. So use wisdom in your giving. Use wisdom when you are dealing with this situation. It is sometimes a lack of understanding that everyone who is reaching out to you is reaching for help and needs help in some way. It may not be the way that they ask that they need the help in. And this is where the wisdom and the discernment comes in. And if you learn to tap the source of the God within you, then you will know the right thing to do. Does this help your understanding? Yes. God bless you.
I've got something else to ask you.
Yes.
I'm interested in saving the animals, but I'm getting letters from about 5 different organizations, and they seem to write every month. I'll get 2 or 3 in the mail. Am I supposed to give every one of them money? I mean, I give.
Let me point out to you, my dear one, that you should use wisdom with this and not guilt. And it seems to me that if you do not send them some money, you might feel guilty about it. Is this true? And so this is a negative. See, use wisdom in your ability to give and to the ones that you should give and the amount to give. But do not feel guilty.
Am I supposed to give everyone?
No, not necessarily. If you have $1 million or $1 billion, then you could lavishly give to all of them. But as you do not have this, then use wisdom in your giving and ask for direction from within yourself as to what you should give and how much you should give and to whom you should give.
Thank you.
Yes, God bless you. Are there other questions this evening? Let us speak a little bit more about the mask. It is such an important thing to awaken to the reality that you do wear many masks. You play many roles at different times. And it seems appropriate on your physical plane. But as you grow in understanding and wisdom and learn more about divine love, you will come to a place where you will be able to remove the mask and to be your true self at all times. This comes slowly for some and more quickly to others. Be not concerned about it, but do the best that you can. Take these words and listen to them, and then watch yourself as you go through your day and identify the times that you are wearing a mask for this and a mask for that, or in other words, you're playing different roles for different situations and different people. And remember that you do not become perfect overnight, but you learn a little here and a little there, and as you move through your days, learn to identify when you are being your God self, your true self, and when you are wearing the mask. And do the best that you can by bringing all of these masks and eliminating them and being your true self at all times. This is not always easy because it is a pattern, a habit pattern that has been with you over a long period of time. And you feel strange sometimes if you don't have your mask on, and you feel that you have to wear it for defense, and you feel vulnerable if you do not have it on. And then when you become aware of your true identity, then you can let God shine through from within you at all times, and be not concerned what others might think or what they might think about you if you did not have your mask on, or if you did not wear the right clothes or act in a certain way. You, my dear ones, when you realize that your life is between you and God and no one else, that your life is yours to mold and shape as you will, because God has given you the freedom to do this. And it matters not what others might think about you. It matters not. But it does matter very much how you think about you and your concern about what others might think about you. Are there other questions this evening? This has been a very interesting session this evening, a very interesting group, and we have brought several things to light. And there are many, many other things. And I would have you to think before you come to this Wednesday night class about things that you would like to ask about, things that are of spiritual importance, things that you may have been pondering and thinking about. And when you come, be open to ask the questions. Be open to receive the answers. Be open to yourself and to life, and let life flow through you in great, great abundance, because it truly wants to. Life wants to manifest through you 1,000 times, 1,000,000 times more than it is right now. And when you can open up a little each day, you see it flows through you more and more, and you're more aware, you're more alive, and you feel wonderful and beautiful. And this is living the life that God wants to manifest through you. God bless you, my dear ones, and good evening.
Ja, man, zien wir ein Buch, will you argue me a book on
Let's talk about it a little later. As we come together in this circle by holding hands for the physical, let it symbolize bringing the spiritual down into the physical realm, bringing the divine love into this circle of light, and let us feel it multiply many times as it goes around this circle, building up in momentum and power. Feel it filling the room to overflowing, spreading out over the city, spreading out over this planet. See it growing to all the world leaders, and all those connected to the world leaders, to all the trouble spots of the world, to all those involved in the trouble spots. See it going out to all those who are reaching for help, but know not where to look or how to find it. And see it helping them to find the help and the love and the divinity that they are looking for. See it going ahead of us into this week, into our every thought, word, and deed, into every situation, into every encounter. Thank you, God.
But the gun, some is clay that's a life in this way. The big they thought, isn't in this on achieving, you have to, we can't be separate with points. They call always hang, blue book. Days hang. Hey.
Yeah, I would order.
Same one of ordering.
And count. From the copper.
To 10? No, yeah. And then,
Yeah, I'm a little skeptical. First asked me, animal.
gray off 9 in Indian type and that's that called kid.
That's true. I let him.
That situation. For a shit it up, baby.
Yeah. So he's
They just seem to ask a lot of questions to see. Cut the smaller group for it was just more open.
That's never 11 last time.
Hmm?
They were 11 last time.
Uh-huh.
We need something other. You want to look down something. That's only following dating just a few initiatives and a lot of things. And you haven't been really buying some at on the card that
Hanan. Trish
can I think
there.
Big go louder.
There was a reference to a book when I asked a question about divine love, and the name of that Von
The Romans. It's a gold.
Oh, yeah. Greatest thing in the world. It's in the other room.
where's that? And then go.
So very kind of.
It's recommended in the self-awareness.
It explains the story of the prodigal son.
Mm-hmm.
I never understood that. But so many times I heard it and didn't understand it until they described it, until they explained it in that old book, which could very good.
When you're asking questions of yourself and stuff, how do you know you're getting a real and true right answer and not just something your subconscious is telling you because you want to hear it?
Well, I always said once, if it's good, it's of God. If it's not, it's not. And you'll know if it's correct for you.
I guess you should just trust your instinct.
You learn. Discernment is one of the gifts of spirit that Paul talked about. And so you learn to discern. And sometimes you have to act on the wrong answer to find out that it's wrong. You learn by experience. Yeah. But as you move along, you'll learn to discern more better each time.
You do get
Yeah, you're always getting guidance at all times.
And you said one time that you could tell different because of the vibration. I think that when you start going to this class and stuff, there's a different feel to a certain answer. Like if you're asking yourself the question and you get all this information, pretty soon there's a little different vibration to the answer that are right. And then that was a really good one. And right, did it. And
you begin to get higher vibrations too in your body.
I don't know if it's higher or lower, but it's just different. Everybody knows it because it's a little bit different.
Yeah, that's a little bit away from the spiritual, but this millionaire that I knew in New York, it was his life was in shambles, but he knew how to make money, and he was estranged from his family and everything, but he was a multimillionaire, and he'd done it all himself. Started with a construction company, and when I saw him last year, he had 32 corporations. One of them was like Brinks Armored Car that brought in $10 million a year at just one of his corporations. And I asked him once, I said, how do you do this? And he said, well, I always seem to know whether to merge with another company or whether to make a person a vice president or hire someone. I said, well, how do you know? He said, oh, you wouldn't believe me if I told you. I said, well, tell me anyway. He said, my left ear itches. And it's always right when my left ear itches. That was his frame of reference, and it worked for him.
You take somebody like Walt Disney, he would bankrupt 5 times before he opened up Disney.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then when he went to Epcot, when he went to the Fainsford Zone at Epcot Center, they said, you're bankrupt on credit record. So he didn't get the loan. So as a result, Epcot Center was then opened after he died.
Yeah. But he's not really dead, they didn't frozen.
Isn't it at least rated with
Walt Disney. He's frozen cryogenically. He's waiting for the day they can find out. Yeah, good.
Really?
No, nobody's really dead anyway.
But there's somebody who just, let's try the wrong thing until they got it right.
but everybody, like that picture you had on from the man in the midst. He said, you go along and you hit a period of bliss, and then he said, you keep that period. You remember it and bring it back.
You follow your bliss.
Yeah. Those things are wonderful.
And they are.
Listen, we can take them out. Turn two. Even feel that way water environments with them.
Well, some of the things he talks about, I've already, this thinking about people and being kind to them, and I don't know. But see, sometimes I feel like people know that about me, so they just have the nickname Dependable Dale. Sometimes you wonder, wow, but can't complain, I guess. Except the when you need a favor, seems like only
wait a second, while you're declaring that'll be true.
Well, and now this recently, that's why I brought it up.
That's why you're here.
Yeah,
To notice it.
Well, the rule is you give to life and life gives back to you.
What you believe in.
And it doesn't have to come from the same person you gave to, see.
That's right. And as a matter of fact, it doesn't usually come from that. And another thing, people pick up your thoughts. I've picked up prayers with people, and I've checked, and I know that they pick up prayers. I've checked this to the time and the context, and boom, it said, eavesdropping, that's terrible.
Yeah, there'll come a day when we all know everybody's thoughts.
When Steve first moved in, Steve and I first started dating, and he'd come out and visit me, and I could pick up his thoughts so easy, and I started talking to him about something, and this got really bothered him at first. It was like, it just scared him. It really made him nervous, and he thought, I don't like this at all. One night we had this little to-do about it, because he thought, I don't know if I can live with you, because I can't think anything. You're going to know everything, but it's not like that. You just pick up a certain thing. And now that he's moved in with me, he is so good at it. We'll be driving in the car, and he'll start talking to me about something that I was thinking, and I'm like, I couldn't believe that.
Then go to telepathy is from that. It's the thing. Will come up. People will call you, and well, for instance, my sister-in-law wanted broccoli and cheese, but she didn't have enough money to buy it, and so I went out to see her, and I wanted to meet a certain woman. The woman was out of her house. And on the way out, I brought her the broccoli and cheese. And another time, a man called up and talked to me a long time. And when he closed down, I thought, well, I should have told him so-and-so. A few minutes later, the telephone rang, and I told him so-and-so. It works. It works. As some people, you don't ever have to tell them to call you, because they'll call you when you want them to.
Sounds like that. I just have to think about him, and he calls me.
I don't call everybody that thinks about me. I'm married.
It's about your books or something. I make it while I'm thinking I ought to call him, and then I forget it. 2 minutes later, his phone.
Are you still with the book?
Mary keeps my book. She's my bookkeeper.
Yeah, but I want to tell you, are you still writing on that novel?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I've been.
Yeah, but I'm working now on Tapping the Source. That's right. I didn't give the commercials tonight, did I? Tapping the Source is July the 20th. And you're going to come, aren't you? Almost everyone would. You going to come? You've already taken it. Have you, Melvin?
Yeah, it's not.
Well, you can come again at half price, We'll take it second time.
That's it. Anticipated him come to him, can
Eh?
yeah, I'll come to him. I was going to come in here, and it.
Yeah, it's week from Thursday. Yeah.
What's it about?
Tapping the Source is where to make contact with the God within you. Yeah, but it'd be better for you to take the basic classes first, really.
Is this true?
Yeah. It's in the brochure. Pick up on the brochure. So it got a little blurb in it about it. The source of all things.
How many weeks?
It's 6 weeks, but I'm thinking about adding 2 more weeks on it the next time I give it, making an 8 weeks class.
But you can try those 2 weeks out on the bus.
Oh,
That would be cool.
oh yes, we have a self-hypnosis class this coming Saturday at 9 a.m.
For beginners,
Yeah, Valerie's enrolled in it.
9 in the morning or 9 at night.
9 in the morning, all day Saturday. Starts at 9 a.m. It's over around 3:30. 4 classes. We do 2 in the morning, take a break for lunch, come back and do the other 2.
Oh, that's a whole course.
Yeah, well, that's self-hypnosis class. You took it by mail, see, so you didn't.
Don't kid yourself, I didn't take it suddenly.
Yeah. All 3 basic classes you took by mail.
Oh, well, when you ended up, yes. The best one is that make money one. And it wasn't talking about money all the time either.
Well, applies to everything. It applies to everything.
When are you giving the abundance class, Don?
It'll be in the fall. We're coming out with the next mail outs. I've been trying to get some of it together so we don't do it the last moment this time. Have plenty of time to.
I said I didn't dream. You know, the other night I dreamed the craziest dream. And I put it all